The great halls of the Galactic Council were never quiet. Voices from 100 worlds echoed under the high silver ceilings. Leaders of powerful empires sat together, their faces proud, their words sharp. But that day one whisper spread faster than any order, faster than any law. Humans are dangerous. The words carried like a shadow. They were spoken in low voices, in dark corners, and in secret meetings. Most aliens laughed when they heard it. To them, humans were small, young, and weak. Their worlds were fewer, their fleets smaller. What danger could such a race bring to the galaxy? They are noisy children, said one elder from a distant empire. They are reckless explorers, another leader added. They think they are strong, but in front of our fleets they will break. The council laughed, but not all of them. A few stayed silent, their eyes heavy with worry, because not everyone laughed at humans. Across the trade routes of the galaxy, whispers grew. Traders told strange stories about human ships, stories of battles where humans never gave up, even when outnumbered. They spoke of human soldiers who fought long after their weapons were gone, who turned wreckage into tools, who used fire and stone when machines failed. Humans fight like no other, the traders said. They lose everything and still, they fight. Many thought these were only tales stretched by fear and wonder, but deep inside some felt the unease grow. There was something in human history that no one fully understood, a hidden event, a shadow from Earth's past. The archives showed wars fought on their own world, wars that lasted for centuries. Humans had fought themselves before they ever fought the stars. Other races asked, how could a people survive so much war and still rise? What made them so hard to destroy? But the council brushed it aside. They called it myth. They called it exaggeration. They laughed again, yet not far from the busy centers of the galaxy, something moved in silence. Beyond the normal star lanes, away from the eyes of alien spies, human ships traveled. They did not broadcast signals. They did not fly in open space where others could see them. Their hulls were black, their engines silent. This was not the trade fleet. This was not the patrol fleet. This was something else. A secret human fleet moved slowly across the dark. Each ship carried no flags, no marks, but inside humans worked with calm focus. Engineers checked weapons. Pilots trained without rest. Commanders studied maps of the galaxy. It was as if they were waiting. But waiting for what? Even the humans themselves did not speak much about it. Orders were given, but questions were left unanswered. The silence was heavy like the quiet before a storm. Meanwhile, the rumors grew stronger. In marketplaces, aliens whispered, "Have you seen the humans build? They never stop. Day and night their hands keep working. They build not for today but for tomorrow, for something we cannot see. They say their ships are small, but inside them is death." Some aliens mocked these words, but some listened, and those who listened began to fear. Why were humans building in silence? Why were their fleets hidden? On the outer edges of space, patrols sometimes caught glimpses, a shadow passing by, a strange signal flickering in the dark. By the time they looked closer, nothing was there. Ghost fleets, the soldiers called them. Phantoms in the dark. But those phantoms were real. The council continued to laugh. But even as they laughed, reports landed on their tables. Reports of human war drills, reports of ships gathering near hidden moons, reports of strange energy spikes deep inside human territory. At first, the council ignored them. Then they grew annoyed. Finally, they began to worry. What are they preparing for? One alien asked. They are not preparing, another said. They are waiting. The words made the hall quiet. But still, no one could answer the question, waiting for what? The truth was simple, yet terrifying. Humans remembered something that others had forgotten. They remembered survival. They remembered how to fight when hope was gone. They remembered that wars are not won by numbers but by will. And in the silence of the dark, the secret human fleet kept moving. Every day it grew stronger. Every day it came closer to something unseen. The galaxy did not yet know it, but the day was coming. The day when they would stop laughing. The day when the whispers would turn to fear. The day when the unexpected war would begin. The whispers would not stop. Every week, new rumors arrived at the Galactic Council. Alien patrols reported strange signals near human space. Traders claimed they had seen warships moving like shadows. And soldiers, half mad from fear, spoke of human fleets that appeared and vanished in the blink of an eye. At first, the council dismissed it all. Stories, they said. Nothing more than fear and empty space. But fear was growing. A quiet unease spread through the great empires. Commanders who once laughed at the thought of humans now frowned at the new reports. Leaders who had once called humans weak began to feel doubt. Still, the official word remained the same. Humans are dangerous. Yes, but only to themselves. That changed when the first real incident happened. On the far rim of the galaxy, an alien patrol ship intercepted a small human vessel. The patrol demanded the humans power down and submit to inspection. The humans refused. No weapons were fired, no warnings given. But the next morning, the patrol ship never returned. When a search fleet finally reached the sector, they found nothing but wreckage floating in the void. The human vessel was gone. The council tried to keep the news hidden, but nothing in the galaxy stayed secret for long. Soon, every trader, every soldier, every young cadet knew. A human ship had destroyed a patrol of one of the oldest empires in a single night. The laughter stopped. Now, the council no longer mocked. Instead, they spoke in warnings. At the next great assembly, the halls were tense. Leaders from 100 species gathered, their voices low. The head of the council stood and spoke words no one had expected. Humans are not to be underestimated. They must be watched. They must be contained. If they rise unchecked, the galaxy will know war. The words spread like fire. Some demanded action immediately. Strike them now before they grow stronger. Destroy their colonies, burn their fleets, end their rise. Others shook their heads. No, they said. The humans are too unpredictable. Strike them, and they will only fight harder. The council argued for hours, but one truth remained. No one truly knew how powerful humans had become. No one knew what their secret fleets carried, and yet, the humans said nothing. They did not answer the warnings. They did not defend themselves. They did not speak in the council chambers. They stayed silent, and in that silence, fear grew. Across the galaxy, empires began to prepare. War factories lit up. Soldiers trained harder. Fleets patrolled longer. Every species feared that humans would strike at any moment. But the humans did not strike. They only watched. They only waited. This made the fear worse. Meanwhile, traders kept telling stories. They spoke of human soldiers who had once fought wars so brutal that no alien could imagine them. They spoke of cities burned to ash, of skies filled with fire, of oceans turned red. Humans are not like us, one trader whispered in a crowded market. When they fight, they do not only use weapons. They use their minds, their rage, their will. They fight until the last breath. Some aliens refused to believe it, but others remembered their own spies' reports. They remembered the wreckage of the patrol ship. They remembered the hidden fleets moving through the dark, and slowly fear became respect. In secret meetings, alien leaders admitted the truth to each other. Yes, humans are dangerous. They were always dangerous. But another question remained, heavier than all the others. What are they waiting for? The humans had the power to attack. They had the fleets. They had the soldiers. But still they did not move. Some believed they were preparing for conquest. Others thought they were defending against an unseen enemy. But none of them knew the truth. On the far edge of the galaxy, inside the hidden human fleet, commanders studied maps. They did not look at alien empires with hunger. They looked at the black void beyond. Something was coming. The humans had seen the signs first. Strange signals from deep space. Dark objects moving between stars. Something vast, something silent, something unknown. That was why the humans were building. That was why they stayed quiet. But the galaxy did not know this. The galaxy only saw the silence, the shadows, and the rumors. And in fear, the council made its mistake. They gathered fleets and sent a warning across the stars. The message was broadcast into every human world, every human ship. Humanity is declared a dangerous species. You will limit your fleets. You will halt your weapons. You will submit to council inspections. If you do not obey, the galaxy will unite against you. The message was meant to bring fear. It was meant to break human pride, but it did not. In the human fleet, commanders listened to the message in silence. On Earth, leaders read the words with cold faces. No reply was sent. The humans only gave one answer: silence. And that silence was worse than war, because silence meant waiting. Silence meant planning. Silence meant something the galaxy could not see was already moving. The galaxy thought it had warned the humans. But in truth, the warning had already come. From the humans to the stars. The unexpected war was no longer a rumor. It was no longer a whisper. It had already begun. The galaxy waited for war, but for a time nothing happened. Humans stayed silent. Their fleets remained hidden. Their colonies lived in quiet order, as if the warning from the Galactic Council had never been spoken. The silence stretched for weeks, then months, but silence is heavy. Silence is dangerous. The more the humans refused to answer, the more uneasy the Council grew. Alien leaders argued with each other, their voices sharp. Some wanted peace, others wanted war. But one empire, proud and powerful, grew tired of waiting. "They are weak," said the rulers of the Threx Dominion. "They hide because they are afraid. We will show the galaxy their weakness." The Threx had always hated humans. They believed strength was shown through conquest, and they could not accept that a young species was being whispered about with fear. To them, humans were nothing more than prey pretending to be predators. So the Threx gathered a fleet. Not a large fleet, but enough to send a message. 20 warships, each armed with plasma cannons, each faster and stronger than most human vessels. They set course for a small human colony on the edge of known space. When the Threx fleet arrived, the colony's sky darkened with their shadows. Children pointed at the burning lights in the sky, not yet understanding. Farmers froze in their fields, watching death descend. The leader of the Threx fleet sent a message to the colony. His voice was cruel, his tone mocking. "Humans," he said, "you will surrender your ships and submit to inspection. Resist and we will burn this world." The message spread quickly through the colony. Fear spread with it. The colonists had no warships of their own, only a handful of small defense craft. Nothing compared to the Threx fleet. But far away in the silence of the void, the secret human fleet was already watching. 3 human warships, black and silent, were hidden near the colony. They had been there for days, unseen, waiting. When the Threx arrived, the human captains did not panic. They did not call for help. They simply waited for orders. The order came in one word: engage. The first encounter began. The Threx fleet moved closer, preparing to strike. They expected the humans to surrender. They expected begging, fear, and retreat. Instead, the void came alive. 3 human ships burst from the darkness, their engines burning bright for the first time. The Threx were shocked, not only by their sudden appearance, but by their silence. Human ships had not sent warnings. They had not spoken. They had only moved like predators from the shadows. The battle was swift, but it was not simple. The Threx ships were larger, with thicker armor and stronger weapons. Plasma cannons lit the void with burning light, tearing holes through space. The human ships should have fallen. By numbers and power, they should have been destroyed. But humans did not fight with numbers. They fought with something else. The first human ship did not face the Threx head-on. Instead, it darted between their ships, moving faster than the enemy could track. Missiles launched not at the ships themselves, but at their engines, their sensors, their weak points. The second ship moved in close, so close that the Threx cannons could not lock on without hitting their own allies. From that range, the humans struck with precision, each shot disabling weapons, tearing holes where armor was weakest. The third ship vanished from sight. The Threx searched for it in panic, unable to track its movements. When it reappeared, it was behind them, firing in silence into their vulnerable flanks. In less than an hour, half the Threx fleet was wreckage. The survivors tried to retreat, but the humans did not allow it. They did not chase with speed. They hunted with patience. One by one, the fleeing ships were cut down until only 2 remained. Then at last, the humans sent a message. It was short. "Leave, tell your leaders. Do not come again." The 2 surviving Threx ships limped away, broken and burning. Behind them, the void was littered with wreckage, evidence of a battle that should have been impossible. The colony below watched in silence. Farmers, children, workers, all of them stared at the sky, their fear replaced with awe. For the first time, they had seen what their people could do, but they were not the only ones watching. Reports spread quickly. Traders carried the news across the galaxy. The Threx survivors told their empire what they had faced. The Council received every word, every detail, and the truth struck them harder than any weapon. The humans had defeated a superior fleet with only 3 ships. They had fought with speed, with precision, with patience. They had fought not like prey, not like weak children, but like predators who had been waiting all along. The galaxy began to understand. The warnings had been right. The rumors had been true. Humans were dangerous. But the council still did not understand why. Why had humans revealed themselves now? Why had they protected the colony instead of striking at greater targets? Why had they allowed survivors to escape, spreading the story everywhere? The council asked questions. They searched for answers. But far away, the human fleet was silent again. They had fought their first battle in the stars. And they had won, but this was not victory. This was only a message. The first encounter was over. The real war had not even begun. The wreckage from the first encounter drifted in silence, but its echoes shook the galaxy. Every empire heard the news. Every council member, every commander, every soldier. Stories spread faster than light. 3 human ships had faced 20 Threx warships and won. At first, many refused to believe it. Impossible, they said. Lies, the Threx must have exaggerated. But then, the survivors of the Threx fleet arrived at their homeworld. Their ships were broken, their armor torn, their soldiers shaken. They carried scars, not stories, and the galaxy understood the truth. The laughter was gone. In its place came fear. The council gathered again, their voices restless and sharp. Leaders of old empires spoke with trembling anger. The humans cannot be trusted. They hide fleets in shadows, then strike without warning. They are predators among us. But even as they spoke, the fear in their eyes betrayed them. For centuries, the council had believed power meant numbers, wealth, and technology. But the humans had shown something else. Cunning, patience, and will, and that was far more dangerous. The Threx dominion demanded revenge. They wanted the council to unite fleets, to strike human colonies with overwhelming force. Crush them before they rise, they shouted, but other empires hesitated. The Threx had already tried and failed. If 3 ships could destroy 20, what would happen when hundreds faced thousands? No one wished to discover the answer with their own blood. Meanwhile, traders told more stories. Survivors of old battles remembered human mercenaries who had fought for scraps of pay and yet never surrendered. Explorers whispered of human crews stranded on dead worlds who still found ways to survive when all hope was gone. Humans are not like us, the whispers grew. When they lose, they learn. When they win, they remember. And when they fight, they never stop. The fear was no longer hidden. It was everywhere. But fear is not enough to stop pride. To test the truth, another empire sent ships into human space, not to fight but to observe. Silent probes, fast scouts, cloaked vessels. They wanted to see the human fleet, to count its size. What they found terrified them more than battle. Human fleets were not gathered in great armadas, like alien empires built. They were spread out, hidden in shadows, waiting near colonies, patrols, and secret stations. They did not fly in open lines. They did not show their strength. They waited like hunters in tall grass, invisible until it was too late. The scouts vanished one by one. Every probe sent into human territory returned broken, or did not return at all. The message was clear. The humans were watching. The council debated endlessly. Should they attack now? Should they prepare defenses? Should they isolate Earth and its colonies? Every plan fell apart under one truth. No one knew how strong the humans really were. That mystery was heavier than any weapon. Then came the second strike. It was not the humans who attacked. It was the Threx again, desperate to reclaim their pride. This time they sent not 20 but 50 ships, a fleet strong enough to level entire colonies. They moved against another human settlement, a mining world rich with metals. The colony had no defenses strong enough to resist. The Threx commanders expected a quick victory, but the humans were waiting. Not 3 ships this time, not even 10. When the Threx fleet entered orbit, dozens of human vessels emerged from the shadows. Their engines flared, their weapons ready. They had been there all along, silent, unseen. The battle lasted only minutes. The Threx ships, larger and louder, fell into chaos as human tactics cut them apart. Human ships did not fight in lines. They struck from angles, vanished, reappeared, and struck again. Every Threx formation collapsed under the confusion. In less than an hour, the proud Threx fleet was destroyed. No survivors escaped this time. The galaxy shook once more. The council could no longer deny the truth. Humans were not weak. They were not prey. They were not children playing at war. They were predators. For the first time in centuries, the old empires felt small. Their fleets, their wealth, their armies, all suddenly seemed fragile when compared to the silent hunters of Earth. Rumors spread of human weapons no one had ever seen, of strategies that seemed impossible, of ships that moved like ghosts. Some claimed the humans had technology even older than the Council itself. Others said they carried knowledge from wars fought on Earth that no alien mind could understand. The truth was simpler. The war had lasted for weeks now. Alien fleets had moved across human space, burning colonies and destroying stations. At first it looked as if the humans would fall. Their worlds were smaller, their fleets fewer, and their weapons seemed weaker. Many alien commanders sent reports to their councils, laughing at how easily humans were crushed, but the laughter did not last, because something changed. The first sign appeared near the mining colony of Ceres 4. An alien fleet of 12 warships attacked, expecting a quick fight. The human defense force had only 4 ships, too few to stand. The aliens moved in, certain of victory, but when the battle began, the human ships fought differently. They did not rush forward like the aliens expected. They stayed in the dark, hiding in the shadow of the planet's rings. For hours, they did not fire a single shot. The aliens grew angry and careless. They split their ships to hunt. That was when the humans struck. From the shadows, hidden missiles flew. Silent ships powered up suddenly and moved like hunters. In less than 10 minutes, half the alien fleet was gone. Explosions filled the space above Ceres 4. The surviving aliens tried to retreat, but the humans had trapped them. They had laid mines invisible in the dark. One by one, the alien ships were destroyed. Not a single human ship was lost. The news spread like fire across the galaxy. Whispers began. Humans do not fight like others. They wait, they study. They strike when you are weak. The councils that once laughed now grew silent. Still, the great alien empires did not stop. They told themselves Ceres 4 was only luck. So they sent more fleets, larger ones. The next great battle took place near Vega Prime. This time the aliens brought 50 warships. The humans had only 15. Again it looked hopeless, but the battle lasted only 1 hour, because the humans had used something new, a weapon that no alien had ever seen before. When the alien fleet charged, human ships released strange drones, small, fast machines that swarmed through space. The aliens thought they were useless toys, but then the drones attached themselves to alien ships, cutting systems, shutting down weapons, and even breaking engines. The mighty alien fleet turned helpless, and then the human fleet fired. In the silence of space, 50 alien warships became wrecks. Flames and broken metal floated across the void. The galaxy trembled. It was no longer just whispers now. Traitors carried the truth. Small races once afraid of humans now looked at them with awe. Some even began to hope that humans could protect them from the empires. But the empires themselves, the great alien powers, were furious. They called it dishonor. They called it trickery. They said humans used dirty ways of war, yet deep inside they feared, because humans were not fighting to win glory. They were fighting to survive. And that kind of war, the war of survival, was the most dangerous of all. In secret chambers, alien leaders spoke. Humans fight like predators. They hide their claws until the last moment. They do not care for rules. They must be destroyed before it is too late. So they gathered their largest fleet ever, a force so strong that even the bravest alien commanders called it unstoppable. Over 300 warships, united from many empires, moved together. Their goal was clear: end the human race in one final strike. But far away in the silent black of space, humans were preparing too. Earth's hidden fleet had not yet moved. They had waited, watching, learning, and now, their moment was coming. Admiral Rhodes stood on the bridge of the flagship Erebus. His face was calm, his voice steady. "They think they are hunting us," he said. A young officer nodded. "Yes, sir." Rhodes looked at the stars. His eyes were hard as steel. "They do not know. We are the hunters." That night in the dark corners of the galaxy, signals were sent. Silent codes carried through deep channels, moving like whispers in the void. Across human space, hidden ships came alive. Engines lit up, weapons armed, and silent fleets turned toward the coming storm. The galaxy was about to learn the truth. Humans were not weak. Humans were not small. Humans were dangerous. and soon every star would see why. The galaxy had never seen such a fleet. 300 alien warships gathered together, shining like a wall of steel in the endless dark. Massive carriers, heavy destroyers, cruisers armed with weapons that could melt planets, they moved as one. To the alien empires, this was their final answer. This fleet would erase Earth. This fleet would erase humanity. In their councils, alien leaders spoke with pride. Humans have caused too much fear. They use tricks, shadows, and secret weapons. They must be ended or they will rise against us all. The order was given. The fleet moved toward Earth, but humans were waiting. For years, Earth had hidden a secret. Fleets that never appeared on any star map, weapons never shown in any treaty, and technology tested only in silence. The empires thought humans were small, weak, and desperate. They did not know humans had prepared for this moment. In the black of space, the human fleet awakened. Thousands of signals lit up across the void. From forgotten moons, from silent stations, from deep under asteroid belts, ships rose like hunters from the shadows. Sleek black warships designed for survival. Carriers with wings of drones. Cruisers with weapons that bent light. And the flagship of them all, Erebus, standing at the heart of the storm. Admiral Rhodes stood on its bridge, staring at the map of stars. The alien fleet was a wall moving slowly toward Earth. "They believe they are unstoppable," he said quietly. No one on the bridge spoke. The silence was heavy, like the air before thunder. Rhodes's eyes were sharp. "Then let us teach them fear." The war began in silence. The aliens moved forward, scanning the darkness. At first they saw nothing. Just empty stars, just quiet space. Some commanders laughed, saying humans were cowards hiding again. Then it happened. From nowhere, hundreds of human ships appeared. They did not roar forward like other fleets. They spread like shadows surrounding the alien wall. Drones flew in swarms, moving faster than any ship had seen. Mines activated, hidden in the very path the aliens traveled. The alien commanders shouted orders, but it was too late. The first explosions tore through their front lines. Entire cruisers broke apart in fire. The second wave came from above, human ships diving down, striking with precision. The third wave came from below, silent torpedoes tearing into the alien carriers. The aliens tried to fight back. Their weapons lit the dark, firing in every direction. But humans did not stay still. They moved like hunters, striking and vanishing, hitting from angles no one expected. And then came the weapon no alien had ever seen. From the flagship Erebus, a great beam of light shot forward. But it was not like normal energy. It bent, curved, and split into 100 smaller beams, cutting through ships as if they were paper. 10 alien warships were destroyed in a single strike. Panic spread. Alien commanders screamed for order. They tried to regroup, but every time they moved, humans were already there. Drones cut their engines. Missiles tore their shields. Whole fleets broke apart, lost in fire and confusion. One alien admiral, desperate, sent a message across the channels. His voice trembled. "This is not war," he cried. "This is slaughter," but humans were not cruel. They did not chase survivors. They did not waste fire on broken ships. They struck only until the enemy could no longer fight. Then they stopped. Silence fell over the battlefield. Hundreds of alien ships were gone. The rest drifted, powerless, their weapons dead, their engines cold. The great fleet, the one meant to end Earth, was broken. And in that silence, the truth spread. Across the galaxy, traders carried the story. Small worlds whispered it. Even the great empires admitted it. Humans had not only survived. They had shown power no one believed they had. But more than power, it was something greater. Humans had fought with patience, with strategy, with unity. They had turned weakness into strength, shadows into weapons. They had proved what the whispers always said. Humans never gave up. Alien leaders met in secret halls. They spoke in hushed voices. We thought humans were small. We thought they were weak. We thought they were prey. They looked at one another with fear in their eyes. But they are hunters. From that day on, the galaxy changed. No empire dared to attack Earth again. Some even sent gifts seeking peace. Others sent spies hoping to learn human secrets. But deep inside, they all carried the same thought. Humans were dangerous. And now, they all knew why. On the bridge of the Erebus, Admiral Rhodes stood in silence. Outside the window, broken alien ships drifted across the stars. His officers waited for him to speak. At last, he said, "The galaxy will remember this day. Not because we fought for glory, not because we destroyed a fleet, but because we proved what humans truly are." He turned, his voice strong. "Survivors, fighters, builders, hunters. That is our truth." And with those words, the war ended. The galaxy had given humans a label, dangerous. Now it understood why.